Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to the podcast. You're hanging with me, Kelly, and I'm on a walk right now outside. And I just thought it would be really cool to do some episodes here and there where it's intuitive, not overly planned or structured in concept, and you're on my walk with me, kind of like I'm doing a direct voice note to you. So I just am 2 days post 50K race, trail race. It was called Shadow of the Giants, put on by Sam King Running. We sponsor that race series. Our good friend Nate Moore is the director. It's like our local trail racing organization. And this race was in Fish Camp in between, I guess, Oakhurst and Yosemite. So gorgeous, beautiful trees. And whenever I do like more endurance-based things, whether it's a race or even just like a backpacking trip or something like that, I feel like there's these like mantras that reveal themselves from like deep within me. And that happened this time, I think, because I went into this specific race with my first goal being to try as much as possible through the highs and lows to enjoy the course, enjoy my time, like really savor and take in the experience. Because, well, a couple things. 2 weeks ago, I went to the Central Coast, met up with some family from out of state, and we spread my Nana, my grandmother's ashes. That was like her dying wishes. It was actually kind of crazy because she had a plot next to my grandpa that, she was like meant to go to after she left her body. But, towards the end of her life, she was just like, hey, this is my life, this is my body, and that's not actually what I want. So one of you guys can take the plot if you want it, but I want to be cremated and I want to be spread like in the Central Coast. It was kind of her happy place. She hasn't lived in California for many years now, but she used to, and that was like the place she loved to go. So, side note. So we did that, and it was just really interesting to like be holding those ashes and to like spread them into the ocean. And I don't know, even just think about like how life comes from the ocean and then returning it back. It was just a kind of a psychedelic experience, if you will. And so the preciousness of life was just, I don't know, I feel like it's something that I'm very close to as a yogi and someone who's practicing Shavasana all the time. I like take Shavasana so seriously, maybe too seriously sometimes, to be honest. But especially after that experience, I've been really, really like, oh my gosh, like you have your life. You have it, and like you're not being spread out and your body, you're still in it, like enjoy it the best you can, because I know not every moment is easy to enjoy. But I've been having this kind of feeling like of really wanting to savor every like sensation and flavor and scent and moment and hug, and yeah, just trying to really take life in. And so that informed my race goal of trying to really, really be present, honestly. And the thing is, for these kinds of big goals, I train, I put all this work into this dedication, and then I've had the experience in the past of like getting to the point where like the the race, the experience, the whatever is happening. And all I can think about is like getting to the next aid station. And then when is this going to be done? You know, like getting to like the next place. And it's like, hey, why put in all that work? Why pay the money or invest in whatever way to go and do this thing if then once you're in it, all you can do is like look at the freaking clock? You know what I mean? So it was important to me to go into this race as like my number one goal of being like, I want to, if I can, through the highs and the lows, not just be like waiting for it to be done. I want to feel the joy. I want to feel like the pain. I want to feel the like monotony. I want to feel like the trees and hear the water and the creek and the everything and just feel. I just want to feel. I want to feel a lot. Anyway, it's fine with me. So that was my number one goal. And then, you know, I thought it could also be cool to get on the podium. And if that's not possible because there's a bunch of fast people out there, like way faster, then like top 10 would be cool. So, you know, I had some, to be honest, I had some goals that I wanted to like really, be competitive, but not at the cost of trying to take in and savor the experience. So that was my rule. Off of the heels of spreading my grandma's ashes and just feeling like, ooh, yeah, like just a big reminder, like that's you someday, who knows when, but right now it's not today. So like enjoy. So the race was like so fun because of going into it with that mentality. And I really, really was just so grateful. I felt so grateful to be out there and to be doing the thing, and like my fitness was supporting me, and it was just really gorgeous. But then, you know, mile like 22 comes and like my feet are kind of like buzzing from the pounding or whatever. Done a couple creek crossings by then, so they'd been wet and dried, and you know, it's kind of funky. And then like my body was fine, but my body was feeling it, you know. So throughout the entire race, it's like if I could breathe and my heart wasn't pounding out of my chest, I was running, even if it was slow. And my breath was really this thing that was like connecting, as it does in yoga, or reminds us that it's doing all the time in yoga, of that mediator between the body and the mind, right? Because sometimes my body would feel great, but my mind would be like, oh, F this. Or, you know, my body would start to hurt and my mind would be like, we got this. Like, just keep going. One step, then the next. Inhale, exhale, you know? So focusing on my breath is something that I'm so grateful for from the yoga practice that I've cultivated in all kinds of life situations. But that really, really came through because it was like, hey, if I can breathe, and you know, my body is allowed to feel tired, and it should. It's been running for a long time. And I kind of just made sure that I was like, I'm not going to push away being in the pain cave that is, of course, inevitably going to come when you're running 30 plus miles in the mountains. And so, yeah, you know, mile 22, 23, I was like officially in it. I'm like, here I am. And I don't, you know, there's a lot of times where, whether it's you're meditating for a long time or you're running for a long time or whatever, you know, sensations come and they go, and it like things intensify and then like relax. But I think that there is a point, at least for me, in a way where I know I've entered a pain cave, let's call it. And it's like, okay, so at this point, there's no really getting out of it until you're done with the task. Now it's just about how are you going to manage this? And so, you know, I got to that point. I'm like, oh, okay, here we are. we're in the pain cave. Now it's just about managing. And my breath helped me do that. And that's when the mantra was revealed. And that's usually when the mantra is revealed in those kinds of moments. So the mantra was, life doesn't start at the finish line. It is here now. Your life is here now. It was just like so clear to me. That's like a really long mantra, but that's, life is here now. Life is here now. And oh my gosh, this is so cool because so I'm on my walk and someone wrote in a chalk, tell me what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That's a Mary Oliver quote. So beautiful. So anyways, I was like, yeah, like I was fantasizing about, okay, like I only have this many more miles. That's going to take me like an hour, like maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And then like there's going to be 2 aid stations between that, and it's like, yeah, like you need to break up things like that in your life, like milestone by milestone sometimes, just to be able to like have the gumption to like move with it and through it. And so I really, really was like, fantasizing about this finish line. And I just had that, it kept coming through so strong. Life doesn't start then, it's happening now. And it was just so huge. So I was like, okay, well then I am going to the best of my ability, try to savor like the fact that my body can do this, and it's feeling this way and it's feeling tired and this is hard, but that's okay. Like I can do this. I can do this, and I don't want to just, think about it being done. I don't want to waste a moment, because I thought when you're done, you're done. The training is complete. The race is over. And then it's like, and then what? I don't want to just be in the cycle of it's like next thing, because then it's like, well, then I'm going to miss it, And in my mind, I was like, and you're going to miss this beautiful course. Like, it's such a beautiful course. And also just being present is important when you're out in the wild anyways. Like, side note, I got to fish camp on Friday and like got my race bib, like did the check-in, and I was camping in my car. And so I was like, I'm going to do like a shakeout run a couple miles before tomorrow, just so my body feels nice and good. And then I go to like get my headphones and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want anything. Like, I don't want anything on me. I'm not even going to take water. I don't want headphones. Like, I don't even want my key. I'm just going to like leave it right here. I just want to be free. And so I left it all, and I'm like, it's 2 miles, So I went on my run, and I'm just about a quarter of the mile way in, and I just thought, oh, you know what? I was out here a week ago, and I saw some coyotes, and they were kind of like running alongside me and sort of giving me the vibe like they were scoping me. So I blew my whistle that's on my run vest, and they don't like the high-pitched sound. They ran away, and I was like, oh, I'm so grateful I have this whistle. And I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? It's like late afternoon, like they're not up yet. It's all good. Not even thinking about other animals in the forest. And, so I was like, okay, but just like, be aware you're out here. There's no one else out here. Like, there's a bunch of people not too far away. So I'm sure there's animals, but they're not going to come around because they're timid. I'm like, okay, but I just, kind of had a weird feeling, but I thought that's normal because you're running in the middle of the forest without any, like, anything, a phone, a backpack to cover yourself, like anything like that. I turn around at a mile, and I'm running back, and I just hear the sticks crunch in a very, like, specific way, and I was like, bear. I look over, and it's a bear. It's a big brown bear, really close to the trail, really close to me, and I just, like, look down, and I'm like, I just have me. Like, I just have me And I know, and I've had bear encounters before, but I've always been like with other people. I've had maybe a big pack or, a whistle, whatever. So I'm like so utterly like alone and just exposed. And I was just okay, like whatever. I got talk about being present. I was like, whew. And so the bear kind of like looked up like, huh? Like at me. And I stood there and it like slowly started to kind of like walk away, and I was like, okay, cool. This bear like doesn't want anything to do with me. And then it like looked over its shoulder again and like looked at me, and I was like, oh no, you're not going to just keep walking. So I just started clapping really loud, and I'm like, hey bear, like I like you, but go away, bear. And it got so scared. It was like so startled and terrified, and it sprinted away. They're fast. Those big animals are very fast. And then, so I just walked until I couldn't hear all the crunching in the forest from it running anymore. And the second I couldn't hear the crunching, I like sprinted all the way down so fast. And it was like downhill and, technical here and there. But I was like, I don't even care if I like trip and like hurt myself. I have to like run so fast, like back to the car. And I got back to the car and realized like, the bear was probably way more scared of me. But anyways, yeah, so that was a huge tangent about just being present. So also just like, I didn't want to like, because there's other people running the race, but it can spread out. And so, yeah, there was a lot of moments where I was running by myself. And of course I knew there's people behind me or in front of me, and we would kind of leapfrog throughout the miles and hours. But yeah, I'm like, you also like need to be present. So don't just like turn it on autopilot mentally, And so I'm like, life is here now. Like, life is here now. Like this right now with the everything you're feeling, it's here. And there's so many things happening at once too. Like, I think it was really cool that I was so dedicated to my training, because it gave me this confidence that like, yeah, this can like hurt, but you have the fitness for it. Your body is so trained for this. And at a certain point, there's just kind of like no way for it to not feel like tired, essentially. So that was really good. I think that gave me the confidence, and I think that can translate to so many things in life. It doesn't just have to be running. When you put in the tapas, like the discipline into your life, into a goal, into like a relationship, that is earned confidence. And that is great. And that helps you get through moments in life that are sticky, uncomfortable, have some friction, can help you get through conflict and all that kind of stuff, right? And it supports you in the, I think, ability to be more grounded and present, because you're not just being ripped one way and the other of fighting against the moment and whatever is presented to you. So life doesn't start at the finish line. Life doesn't start after you get the promotion. Life doesn't just start after you meet the love of your life. Life doesn't start after you lose this many pounds or gain, these many muscles. Life doesn't start after you even reach your goal. That's not necessarily when life starts. Life has already started. It's happening. It's unfolding. It's here now. It's here right now. And it's a trap to think that when you get done and you get through this next thing, that then your life is going to start, and then you're going to be happy, or then you're going to feel accomplished, or then you're going to be worthy of whatever, And I think that's a thing, that is probably the main voice note that I'm giving you here today, is that what I learned from that experience, or what I really felt as truth in that experience, is life isn't just something to get through. Life is for living. Life is for experiencing. And there is a huge spectrum of what that means. And there's highs, there's lows, there's happies, there's sads. There's a push and a pull, right? There's a stop and a go. There's a rise and there's a fall. Life is something to be lived. Life is to be held. And I think about that even in like our yoga postures, where I tell this a lot to my students. Well, I tell it to myself, honestly, in practice, but also to my students is like, when we do a yoga posture, yeah, like we're doing it, like we're putting our body into this way, but it's also doing us. I think about it as a very reciprocal thing of where we are holding the shape, but it is also holding us. There's a reciprocity there. And if you don't allow yourself to also be held and to experiencing it, then it doesn't actually feel good. It feels exactly what it sounds like. You're holding it up. Like you're holding it up. You're not budging. You're holding it up. You're not moving. You're not falling. And it's like, there's a difference between holding your composure and holding a posture and like feeling everything and allowing yourself to like not react to every little like micro movement or fluctuation of a thought. There's a difference between that and being like, at any cost, I will not fall out of this pose. Meaning like, you're probably not breathing. You're probably gritting your teeth. You're probably tensing your muscles, but you're like, my body's holding the shape. I'm not falling out, and that's not holding the pose, babe. That's actually not holding the pose. That's holding it up. That's a different thing entirely, which could be another voice note. But a yoga pose isn't for just getting through a yoga class. I see that a lot too. People kind of checking their watch and like, when is it going to be done? And I'm kind of like, why are you paying for a membership? Why did you schedule the class? Like, why are you putting yourself through this? Like, might as well enjoy it. It reminds me of something that Ram Dass said, that there's a being named Emmanuel who told him, Ram Dass, you took an incarnation here at this Earth school. Why don't you do the curriculum? In other words, you're so busy holding yourself up as this like holy man, like lecturer, like why don't you just try out being human for a little bit? And I think that it's like, if we sign up for the race, if we sign up for the class, if we go on the date, if we do the thing, if we go on the interview, why don't we just go? Why don't we just do it? Why don't we just be it? Why do we want to wait and for like it to end or get to the next thing? Like, I don't know about you, but I just don't want my life to end up being at the end of it, getting to this place where I was always just focused on getting to the next thing and then it was done. Because it will be over. The race, that's something I was really telling myself, like, it's gonna end, like my life, like that's the ultimate finish line. All of our lives, that's the finish line. And, we might not know exactly when, we might not know exactly what our lot is going to be for the rest of it in order to get to that point, but we do know it's going to happen, right? So why not just enjoy it while we have it? Life is happening now.